Death. Not typically the topic that you want to hear about, especially when you're tuning into an inspiring, uplifting message. But don't go just yet. I promise my intentions are to encourage and empower you, one mortal being to another, that we can talk about topics. We can face topics like death and not be so discouraged and not be so afraid. You see, death is one of those hush-hush topics in our culture and in our societies. So much so that typically when a patient at a hospital passes away, the mortuary is called to come pick up the body. But they are specifically asked to leave through the back of the building, to exit through the facility's elevator, to leave through the loading dock, out of the view of the public eye, because that's not something that the public person wants to witness in their daily life. And I have recognized our issues and wrestlings with the very topic of death. Yet we are afraid to face the reality of our own mortality, that each and every one of us is walking around with this expiration date and this fear of when that expiration date may hit. But yet we don't want to talk about it. We worry about it in secret. We worry about it in silence. And yet it is the one thing that connects every single human being on this planet together. I serve as a chaplain at a senior living facility. And if you don't know what a chaplain is, my favorite way to describe it is this floating free agent of faith that kind of disrupts the system, that disrupts the norm of any type of formal organization, typically in hospital settings or critical care facilities. The chaplain doesn't ask about a diagnosis, doesn't ask about prescriptions. I can't diagnose and I can't prescribe anything, but I get the privilege and the honor of sitting alongside somebody in the midst of the crazy tragedies of life, and I get to ask the question, how is your soul? And it is amazing how many people will open up about topics of fear and anxiety and worry of concern that they won't even share with their closest family, friends, or relatives. But in that moment, because my job is to go deeper, they are willing to share the depths of their soul and the concerns that they hold. One story in particular that I want to share is from this senior living facility, and something that I truly admire about this senior living facility, that they celebrate death. They honor it in such a respectful manner that when a resident passes away, there's a public announcement for all the residents and the nursing staff and the staff at large, and they're notified when exactly the mortuary will come to pick up the body. And when the mortuary arrives, people are invited to line the hallways in a processional manner. That then when the mortuary comes out with the gurney and pushes the body down the hallway, we follow in line behind the body out the front door where visitors and public may see what is going on. And it's not weird. It's a manner of celebration, of honor, and deep respect for that life that has transitioned. More often than not, there's also a song being played. And in this particular instance, there was the song Amazing Grace being played. And it was so beautiful because all of us, no matter if it was the nurse, no matter if it was the chaplain, no matter if it was the facilities or just a visitor, we would all join in together in the melody of Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And we would walk this body out the front door. And this first experience that I had, I wept. I felt something so deeply that I can't even put it and express it into words to you. But I also know it was deeply rooted in that connection of mortality, knowing that one day that'll be my body on the gurney. And my greatest hope and desire is that I would be honored and respected and pushed out the front door in such a manner. That's what every single person deserves. You see, death and all these topics that we hush hush in our society and that we don't want to talk about are actually some of the greatest connections. We are all connected about these fears and worries and concerns that we carry with us in our daily life, and we long for these conversations. As both a pastor and a chaplain, I hear the concerns of people, concerns that they only talk to me about or their journal, and they don't want to talk to their friends and family, yet we all share this commonality of mortality. And so my encouragement is that we can lean in to the tragic aspects of life, that we can lean into the reality of our mortality and recognize that we all carry these fears within us and that we can share space. Would you join me in the spirit of prayer? Immortal One, today I pray for mortality. I pray for the courage to connect with other mortal ones on earth, to share even the most tragic spaces, and find the sacredness and the beauty in each and every moment. We are grateful for this life. We are grateful for every single breath because it is truly a gift, and the next one is unknown. We thank you. Amen. Between is about you. Here at Between, we are on a mission of sacred connection. Our church exists in the space between you and every single person you encounter throughout your week. Not just the happy, exciting moments to share of sacred connection, but also the tragic and more solemn moments in life. We can connect with those. No matter who you are, no matter who you love, what you've done, what you believe, if you believe, or what anyone has told you about yourself, you are welcome here at Between, and we celebrate you. Now go with God's love and create the church between.